Hi, I'm Terri Cumming from terricumming.com, and today we're going to decorate our front door. So I have decided to do a wreath, very traditional, but I am somewhat traditional in my decorating. So I've chosen to do a wreath, and this is the final product, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It does look somewhat complicated, and there's a lot going on, but everything's really easy that's involved in this. It takes a little bit of time, but I do love doing something that has a personal feel to it. So the first thing that you will need is a twig wreath. I got this at Michael's, very inexpensive, and I spray painted it red. Voila! Magic of being on camera. There you go. I spray painted that red. Very easy with this. Not that you need to see it, but there you go. Spray painted it red. The next thing I did is I had some plaid fabric lying around, and I like to use as many things that I already have in the home as possible. So I cut that into big wide strips, a couple of inches thick. And what you're going to do, I just used a paintbrush, but you can use anything that looks like this. And I just started shoving the fabric in. So I'm just going to show you basically how you do that. You just keep shoving it in, and then you have this loop effect that I have throughout the wreath. And I did do that on the sides, put a ton of it in just because I wanted a really full feel. So that's that step. The next thing is these decoupage balls. So I did them out of the plaid fabric. I just cut smaller strips, and then I did ones that have words on them. So I just used a white piece of paper and wrote words on them. This is the Lannan Cumming family, and words like Christmas, love, whatever, wrote those on there. Now, I celebrate Christmas in my family, but if you're celebrating Hanukkah, you could spray paint your wreath in a blue or a silver or something that makes sense for you and your family, and you could write Happy Hanukkah. I mean, this could definitely go in a bunch of different directions. So the decoupage balls are what I'm going to show you how to do next. So I just got foam balls and the same paintbrush, a skinny little paintbrush, and I shove that in the ball. And then I have my Mod Podge here, which I love. I'm wanting to Mod Podge basically everything in the house now. So you just apply that onto the ball. I'm not going to have you watch me do the whole thing, but there we go. Put that on. And then you just take one of your words, family, and you just stick that on. And then you just go over top of it with the Mod Podge, and it stays on really well. You're just going to keep going over it. There you go. And then you can add another one. I'm going to grab the word love. It can be slightly messy. No, not slightly. It's actually really messy, but it's worth it in the end. And so the more you work with it, the better it gets. And then you're just going to keep going until you cover the whole ball. So that is the Mod Podge balls, and then that worked really well with the plaid fabric as well. And I do really like the personal feel that you can get with that. So then the other thing I did is I just had just basically decorated it. So I had these twig balls, and I just pulled them off and attached them in. I just use a glue gun to attach everything on, and it works really well because you're attaching it onto the ribbon or plaid fabric that looks like ribbon, and so that holds it on really well. And the other thing I did was I wanted to do something in the center of the wreath, which you don't normally see, because I do like to do something a little bit different and put a spin on everything. So I used a placemat. I'll just show you here. I got these at IKEA, and I have been using them as my placemats for probably the last year. So I had a bunch of them, and they're square, but if you have a rectangular one, you could cut it down. And I just attached that onto the back of the wreath, and all I did when I was attaching it is I put it underneath and flipped it over. It's not as easy. There we go. Flipped it over. And then I just glued each of the four corners. And when you're doing that, you're going to have all of the ribbon, the plaid fabric, or whatever your fabric is, all around it. So you're just going to attach it to the fabric, and it does hold on really well. And then the other thing that I did was I got these letters, and these are from the dollar store. They're mirrored letters, and I just stuck them on. They basically stick on. It's been on my front door for a while, and they're holding really well. And I put Be Merry. You can put whatever it is that makes sense for you in the center. And it is a really cool effect, and the mirrored look is really good. When it's cold, it has a frosted effect, so I do really like that as well. So that works out just to give something, like whatever you want to put on there for your holiday celebration. And then the other thing I've done is, as well, from the dollar store, which as you know I love, there was a string of these, and it's supposed to be for hanging Christmas cards, but I just took the string off and I've just clipped them all over my wreath. And then the final thing that I did, because as you know as well, I love these stick-on jewels. So these ones that I have here, they are actually, when you pull them off, they come in a row, and you could attach them on just like that, but all I've done is just pull them off, and you just stick them on to your fabric, and it just adds that extra little bit of bling. And for me, these being a clear jewel, connect into the mirror. So thanks for watching. I'm Terri Cumming, and I can't wait for you to decorate your front door.